Hey, beautiful souls. Happy Wednesday. If you are seeing this live, and happy whatever day it is where you are, whenever you're seeing this. I am so excited to be here with you for our Wednesday live chat. For those of you that don't know me, I am Joy Giovanni, Joyful Medium. I help people step out of overwhelm and into love with mediumship readings, psychic readings, coaching, and teaching. So in these Wednesday live chats, we chat about all kinds of things. This weekly chat was originally going to be only for the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group. And then I had some people that didn't do Facebook. So I also stream it on YouTube. Hello to all of you on YouTube. And then I do it to the regular Facebook group or page as well, the Joy Giovanni page. So this started as me coming on weekly before I even had the podcast and doing some little lessons, some little chats, sometimes messages. And if you remember last week, if you didn't see it, it's still posted everywhere. You can still catch it. We were talking about as we entered the energy of the new full moon, the new moon, which is my favorite energy. I love a good new moon. What were we wanting to cultivate? I sent out some journaling prompts. So if you're on my VIP insiders list, you should have gotten those new moon journaling prompts right in your email box. If you're not on my VIP insiders list, I do send out freebies and notifications and let you know when things are changing or what's going on. And you get the direct link for the monthly community healing. Just go to my website, joyfulmedium.com, right on the homepage. If you don't already have the sign magnet course, you can get a free 3-day mini course about how to get signs from the universe. Today, I want to talk a little bit about going from what are we cultivating, right? Remember, new moon, we were planting our seeds. We were thinking about what we want to cultivate going forward for this next time period. And we were just kind of thinking about it, sitting with it, right? In this energy of inspiration and really going within and seeing what we want to be cultivating. So if you haven't done that already, that's okay. You can just spend a little time figuring out what you might want to be cultivating for this next time period. But just want to encourage you to be available for any emotions. That was the other thing we were talking about, that piece around, okay, so if you know what you want to be cultivating, what's holding you back, or where are you holding yourself back? Where's the resistance? Where are you in fear? And identifying those fears and resistances. Here's why. If you do that emotional work, that emotional processing, the energy can move in a different way. I'm having this in my life right now, which is what I sometimes talk about on these sessions with you. I am going to be making a full podcast about it. So if you want to know what's going on with me, make sure you're checking out my podcast, which is Spirit Speakeasy. I really love this place where I am, where I live. And I was getting the nudge about moving. And I got kind of discouraged. You guys have seen, if you've been with me a little bit, you've seen I've been, creating this office space. So I was like, no, I'm just going to stay. It's fine. Who likes moving, right? I don't love moving. I don't love change. And resolve myself that no, I was going to wait. I was going to give it another 6 months and see how I felt, and some things through my emotional processing and figuring out what was going on. And sometimes a catalyst of like things imploding or going wrong, or a series of like unfortunate events or annoying events going on to kind of be a catalyst for us to realize like, okay, maybe something does need to change. Maybe I do need to look a little deeper at like, why am I resisting when there's now some things springing up that are showing me that like, okay, this is the direction for me to be moving in. It like validates or confirms it for you, whether it's signs or whether it's emotions of yourself, or whether it's things just kind of going awry in the situation. Sometimes there's a bit of a catalyst that moves us to the next thing. In my case, it was some things happening here that just were kind of too many things ongoing. And sometimes when we really investigate the emotions around it, we can move the energy, like I was saying. And that is what helps us go from just understanding what it is we want to cultivate and moving to manifesting what we want to cultivate. Because a lot of people don't like to talk about this part of going within and seeing what we want to cultivate. And then the bridge, that next step is that emotional work, which, like I said, is what we were doing last Wednesday. So last Wednesday would have been, I don't know what, 7 days ago, around the 17th. So if you didn't see that one, you can go look at it, and I actually told the journaling prompts, and essentially, I think I changed them slightly, but so you could still do that work if you wanted to, but it's the emotional processing that helps us come to understanding, and it helps us change our vibrational energy. Quite a while ago, I did a talk about what are we attracting, setting our vibrational resonance. And if we are in this space of like resisting, I'm just going to use my own example because that's the one I have. I'll speak for myself. Like, I don't want to move. I don't want to change. I like things how it is. My energy is resisting, right? So it's going to make things more difficult. If the energy of, what's in my highest good or what the situation requires is moving and I'm resisting, then I'm going to be like a toddler kicking and screaming and banging my head along the way, right? Whereas if I can come to clarity with the emotions around it, sometimes it's coming to peace and acceptance. That can mean a lot of different things and look a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's just coming to deeper understanding of ourselves, and kind of having some sort of internal shift that then gets us excited. So whatever it is about, sometimes the catalyst seems uncomfortable. In the tarot, it would be a tower moment. Sometimes it can look like the breakdown of a relationship, or the breakdown of a relationship with a place. Sometimes it can, it can apply to any area of your life. Maybe you had a job and you weren't ready to move and some things shifted, and then you're like, oh, I have to change jobs now. Or it becomes more apparent to you that like, no, I need to pursue this. It's what I'm wanting to cultivate in this next period. I've just been resisting. So as you were looking last week at what you want to cultivate and your resistance, now I want to move into manifesting a little bit. I want to give you a little bit of homework and encouragement. And it is going to be, I'm looking at mine, it's right here. As you did that thinking and sitting with and feeling into what you want to cultivate, I want you to write it out if you haven't already. Write what it is you are cultivating. And like we talked about, it could look like cultivating intentional connection with friends in my community. It could look like I want to be someone who gives back and participates more in a charitable way. Whatever it is that you are wanting to cultivate, write it down for yourself. If you want to write it and put it up somewhere, if you want to print it out and put it up somewhere, put it up somewhere so you can see it, so you can read it. And part of this fine tuning, as you write it out, make it very concise. I'm going to encourage you to work it into some version of a mantra or like a short phrase for yourself that represents the energy of everything you wrote out that you're wanting to cultivate. Mine, I'm going to just tell you my mantra. It might be a little dorky. I don't love sharing my personal stuff, but who does? Because it makes me feel a little vulnerable. And you guys get to see all my quirks, but hey, that's who I am. My little mantra is be her now. This person that I'm trying to live into, this person that I continue to develop to become, these things that I'm wanting to cultivate that I wrote out, the mantra that I condensed it into for myself. I keep going like this because it's at the top of a paper that says what I want to cultivate and what I'm creating going forward. At the top, I have this mantra. And I have a description of who it is I'm trying to be. And I'm going to tell you what mine is, even though, like I said, I feel super dorky. I will do a full podcast episode and tell you the whole thing. It is vibrationally thriving priestess of divine light, medium, mystic, and mentor. That is who I am living to be. And I detailed out what that means to me and for me. This is just my personal work that I've been doing. And my mantra is be her now. I want to be that now, right? I'm creating it in the now. So I've done my emotional work. I've come to clarity. I've condensed it into a form that's written out that I can see to check in with I check in with it on a daily basis. You do you. And having a little mantra that I can take with me. And then what I'm doing, notice there's a lot of emotional work and processing, which is what I'm always encouraging you guys to do. It's the bridge that gets you from here to there. It's what moves the energy. It's what gets you unstuck or unblocked. It's the emotional stuff almost all the time. So be her now is my little mantra. And how I'm using that is as I'm making choices, I'm saying that mantra to myself in my head, be her now. What would she choose? What is future me wanting? As I'm cultivating this, what would that version of me choose? She would choose what's in my highest and greatest good. She would choose my health over inconvenience. She would choose standing up for myself over being a people pleaser. She would choose saying what I actually mean in kindness and love for myself and others in a direct way rather than trying to beat around the bush or again people please. I got a lot of people pleasing in me, and I know that if you're here with me you probably do too. So that's how I'm using it. When there is a situation where I'm challenged, where I'm uncomfortable, I have to say the hard thing. I have to say even giving like notice that I'm moving out. That's very hard for me. I have a relationship with my landlord over the last few years since I've lived here. This little home has been a healing sanctuary for me. So having to say the uncomfortable thing, I asked myself, okay, be her now. What would this future version of me, how would she say this? How would she stand in her power, hold her boundaries, say it in a direct way with kindness, but also not with that I can be pushed around wiggle that sometimes those of us that people please can have or the way it can feel. So this is what I'm working on right now. This is how it's looking for me. And I will tell you, I did a little bit of extra manifestation work, which for me, it looks a lot of ways, but it can just look like raising your own vibration, singing, dancing, creating a song about what it is you're wanting to manifest, making that energy light and happy around it, drawing a picture about it, making a collage about it, writing it out. There's a lot of different ways you can infuse energy into what you're trying to manifest, but it's that emotional bridge, let's call it, that emotional processing. And then this next little segment of this work that I'm giving you guys, write it out, get clear on what it is you're cultivating. Even if there's action steps in there or not, doesn't matter. Write out what that feels like or a mission statement for yourself of who you're wanting to live into. Create a little mantra, a short one that you can take with you, not something that's like 20 words that you have to read out all the time. Something short, like be her now. I can hang on to that mantra and not have to look it up in my phone or write it on my wrist for those of you that are old school like me. So what mantra are you going to use to help you make those decisions? Because it's our emotional processing and it's also the choices that we're making that help us manifest what we want. So that is in a nutshell, how to manifest this next phase that we were just last week talking about, thinking about, journaling about, cultivating the feeling about what we want to cultivate going forward. That's the next step in how to manifest. I hope that this talk today was meaningful for you. Like I said, I'm going to do a full podcast episode about this. I'm probably going to try to record it within the next week or so because this move timeline is getting much shorter than I thought it was going to be. So I will let you know as things develop. I'm going to be posting pictures and videos. So if you are not on my Instagram, hop on there. It is at Joyful Medium on Instagram. I'm going to be posting, just kind of sharing my journey with you guys. Like I said, this place has been a healing sanctuary for me, but my own soul has let me know it is time to move on. So what is it in your life that you're starting to have to pull that Band-Aid off for yourself? Is it in your relationship zone? Is it in your work zone? Is it in your home zone? Is it in your own personal development zone? Is it in your health? What area? Is there something that you have noticed and have been working on that resistance from last week and you're wanting to cultivate a different thing? Let's step into manifesting it. So let me know what area you're wanting to cultivate this change in and move into manifesting it. You don't have to share exactly what it is if you don't want, because I know, of course, we all have things private to us. Mine is this moving stuff. So Let me know what it is for you. And if you do this work that we just talked about today and you want to come up with your little mantra and share it, I would love that. And if you do it within the next like day or so from when I'm recording this, I might even be able to include some of them in the podcast as like inspiration. And if you give me permission, I can shout you out by your first name. So put that in there. Let me know. It's so great being with you guys every week. So much is swirling around, and I'm excited to get to keep you guys updated. And thanks for being here with me on this journey. Kim says, I miss out on your healing sessions as it's on too late for me. The free community healings once a month. I also do one-on-one healings, yeah, I'm sorry it's late. I don't know what to say about that. I've done it earlier on a weekend before, and almost no one showed up when we did that last. And then I have to like block out my work schedule and can't see clients. So I try to squeeze it in there the best I can with all my stuff. If you are a podcast listener and listen to the Spirit Speakeasy podcast, my podcast, there's one on there that is a healing session and working with Archangel Raphael. So I put other stuff other places. So if you can't make that free community healing live, I do try to put other things out there so you can do healing with yourself. So big hugs, lots of love. Thank you guys for being here with me. If you use this tool, let me know. I know it doesn't sound like much, but these are the bones of manifestation. Talk to you guys soon.